Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me in this Brave Thinking Masterclass. Today is February 25th of 2025. So I do this masterclass every month, and so I hope it is beneficial to you. I got to tell you, I changed, I don't know how many times with my shirt and my earrings and my necklace, and my mood was kind of crappy this morning. And okay, nothing is perfect. I gotta persevere. Yes, so I have to pull out my brave thinking tools to get going and get this out to you. Yes, some days are tougher than others. Some days are easier than others. Okay, so here we go. Brave thinking to get through the situations and the conditions and the circumstances that we don't really want to have, we wish weren't happening. I got a shoulder that's so sore. Yeah, stuff happens. Stuff happens, and if we have tools to get us through the stuff we don't want, it makes life easier. Okay, so my name is Dawn Huffey. I'm the owner of Liberty Belle Coaching, and I'm just so glad you're here. You made the decision to join me in this masterclass, and it is my intention that you leave here today knowing 3 tools that can help you achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you ever imagined. They'll help you get through your days easier. Yes, they will. I also want you to garner some clarity about how to move forward to manifest your dreams and your goals. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to share my screen because I have a PowerPoint. So let's see if I can get it up here. For fetching your file. Okay, good. There it is, PowerPoint. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna bring it full screen. Hallelujah. Okay, things are turning around. So, the power of vision, 3 keys to mastering your results. All right. I'm going to start with a story, and it's about a mouse. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden they came around the corner and saw a cat. The cat was about to attack, and the mother mouse said in a very loud voice, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and the cat ran away. The mother mouse turned to her babies and said, "That is the power of learning more than one language." She saved all their lives. So why this story matters to you is because today we're going to be looking at the language of success. Excuse me. This is the language that will bring our dreams into reality. And we really do want success in this area. There is a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates the results you want. Excuse me. And once you consciously understand what that language is, then you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. That is what the Dream Builder program is all about, learning a new language of success for life. Now, the Dream Builder program is one of 5 programs that I coach my clients through. I was certified in all 5 of these programs. And right now I have 25% off of the Dream Builder program, which is a huge savings. It ends on the 28th of February. So yeah, if you want to get in on this huge savings, you have 3 days to do it. Okay. All right. I just want to put that out there. And so moving on. Do you have a goal or a dream that you would like to achieve, or some area of your life that you would like to improve? Most of us do. We are really so capable and far more capable than we recognize. We have a lot of things that get in the way. Just look at me this morning. I mean, it felt like one obstacle after another, and we can run into this with our dreams too. So I could have given up and said, forget it. I'm not doing my vision workshop this week or this month. No, I didn't. It's like, no, I've been doing this every month since I got certified. I'm not giving up. I'm persevering. And you can too. All right. Enough about me and this morning. My intention is to give you 3 tools to help you achieve your goals. I want you to gain greater clarity on what your goals and dreams are, because that's really important in manifesting those goals and dreams. And I want you to feel even more confident in your abilities that God gave you. God gave us all skills, talents, and abilities. And sometimes they lay dormant until we uncover them. And I want to help you do that. All right. We're going after our dreams, because we are capable of far more than we know. Our goals and dreams are often born out of the challenges that we face. We have challenges that get in our way. They come up. They just do. We're living on Earth where stuff is not perfect. It's just the way life is on Earth. So challenges come up. Okay. I want to move on to something that we want to just really understand. There are 2 signals for growth. And the first signal is longing. Oftentimes, we don't recognize that this is a signal to grow. We just think, oh, I can't have that, or nobody's going to give that to me, or I don't know how to get that. And we could fall into victimhood about it. But we want to flip our perception around and look at longing at a signal to grow. We don't want to ignore it. We don't want to feel bad about it. We want to look at it as, okay, this is a longing, and how do I fulfill my longing? The second signal is discontent. When we look at our lives and we think, oh, I just don't really like this. I just don't like this about where I'm living. You know, this is a drawback and this is a drawback. So you're discontent. This is telling you, look, things can be better. I can have something gooder. I can have something bigger. I can have something greater. We don't want to fall into the discontent and feel bad about it. We want to recognize, okay, these are signals for growth. How can I get myself beyond my longing and discontent and feel fulfilled? All right. So the feeling of longing for something we haven't yet created and the feeling of discontentment with current circumstances are feelings that spark us to grow. You can be pushed by pain and you can be pulled by a vision. These 2 energies, the pain of your problem and the desire for what you want, are essential for creating something different, for creating different results. I want to share a time in my life when pain pushed me to make a change. As some of you might know, in the fall of 2020, I was feeling so frustrated and really mad. Okay, I'm not going to swear. I was really mad about all the restrictions and requirements at my job and the private school where I worked. I literally thought they were stupid, ridiculous, and I wasn't going to comply. No. I knew if I did comply, I would be so unhappy with myself. I had done people-pleasing crap for so long. No, I was not going to go against myself and my values this time. So, on our final day of the in-service, when the new restrictions were delivered, I made a decision. I decided that my job was coming to an end on that day. I didn't give a notice. because the next day the kids were coming to school and all of the restrictions had to be implemented, and I refused to do them. I refused. So proud of myself for doing that. Well, it wasn't comfortable doing it. I didn't have another job lined up. I didn't. But I was pushed by the pain of my situation to make a change. And I want to mention something. This job I was very good at. I was working with 4-year-olds. My history is that I'm a parent educator. I've raised 2 children. They have grown up to be amazing adults. Did I do it perfectly? No, but I did a fairly good job because they grew up to be very responsible, loving, caring, generous children. Now, that really all helped me in this job. I mean, you have 4-year-olds, we had different amounts of kids every year, but one year we had 19 kids in our class. Our cap was 20, so that's a lot of little kids to manage. And so I had a boss. She was the main teacher. Anyway, I was very, very good at what I did, but my boss and my principal undermined me and treated me badly quite a bit. And so I wasn't really happy in the job, but I was just staying in the job, even though I wasn't happy. Okay. I was discontent, but I ignored it. Okay. And then what happened? The pain got pretty intense with, you got to do this and you got to do that and you better do that. And if you don't do that, and I thought, forget it, I'm not doing it. And so I was pushed by the pain to make a change. Within a month of leaving that job, I discovered a life coach named Mary Morrissey. It was so interesting. I had an email come into my inbox. I don't think I had ever gotten an email from her before. If I had, I didn't open it. But that day I opened it, and she was offering an 8-week class on abundance. And I thought, boy, if there's a time that I need abundance, it's right now because I don't have an income coming in right now. So I signed up for her class. Then I signed up for another one that was a year-long class because I knew my thinking was really negative and I knew I needed that support. And then a few months later, she offered her coaching program. I had wanted to be a coach for quite a few years, so I enrolled. I did it, and okay, here I am coaching other people. So, what's your next big dream? What would you love to have in your life? In the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them to your life. Today, you will learn 3 of these principles that you can apply right now to help you create the life that you love. So, we're going to get 3 principles today and 3 tools. Yes, we are. Okay. Here's my promise to you. I will give you everything I can in the time that we have together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. So ponder enrolling in the Dream Builder program. So yes, I'll talk about that at the end of the presentation, how you can get started on that. We are constantly creating results, and we create them in 2 different ways. We create them by the first way, which is default. What does this really mean? It's a word we don't use that often, but what it means is that we are living our life out of our patterns. We choose the thoughts that we've already thought. We just choose the same thoughts we've been thinking for years and years and decades and decades. We're not growing. We're not finding new information and new affirmations. Okay, we choose to do what we already did. We're doing the same things over and over again. We're choosing beliefs that we already believed in. We're not challenging these beliefs that maybe don't serve us anymore. Okay, we're ignoring the signals to grow. We're ignoring the discontent and the longings. Okay, so that's living your life by default. Second way to create results is by design. And this is what we use in the Dream Builder program. We design a life that we absolutely love. And I'll go into that in more detail. We'll actually do that today. Yes, we will. Now, let's learn to expand your awareness for success in the areas of life that matter to you. Okay. There are four major domains of life in where we experience life. Okay, so the first is our health and well-being. The second is our love and relationships. Third is our vocation. And the fourth is our time and money freedom. Everybody has results in each of these areas of their life right now. The results that you are getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. When I first heard that statement, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm hoping that I can give you some more depth into this today. Let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates your results, or what I call the results formula. So this is what we're going to do to bring more awareness. We first have thoughts in our mind. Our thoughts cause us to have feelings. Our feelings generally will cause us to take an action, and our actions give us results or our experiences. Now, I want to talk about another layer underneath our thoughts. It drives a lot of our thoughts. I really got a better understanding of this when I trained in 2022 to learn the compassion key technique. This technique helps us heal the wounds that are buried deep inside of us. Most of us have traumatic wounds that are stuck inside of us, and all the emotions surrounding those wounds are still inside of us. They're vibrating out and attracting circumstances that match the wounds. So, for example, if you had something that was so intense and you weren't able to process through it, and there was so much sadness, one emotion was so much sadness, you're going to be vibrating out that sadness because it's inside of you. There's no way around it. It's just the way it works. And so what do? You attract situations that cause you to feel sad. I just did a free compassion key session with a lady, and so I offer this to everybody so that they can experience what it's like to get relief from these trapped emotions. And she had this sadness that was trapped inside of her. And a few days later, I asked her, I said, "How are you feeling since your compassion key session?" She goes, "I don't feel sadness at all." So this was something that she had felt for years. And so she was relieved of that in just one session. So anyway, what I'm wanting to say is that a lot of the thoughts that we have come from these trapped emotions, and the emotions set up patterns. The patterns bring certain beliefs and emotions that cause us to think certain thoughts. So it's another layer that's running underneath this results formula. And these patterns are so strong, they overtake our affirmations that we, say over and over again. So you can repeat the affirmation, I'm so happy today. I am so grateful today. But you have this undertone of sadness, and the pattern will overtake your affirmations 99.9% of the time, because the patterns are so strong. but we can dissolve the patterns by healing the wounds with the compassion key technique. Okay. All right. So now let's think a certain thought. So think this thought: oh my gosh, I lost my wallet. What feelings do you have that come from that thought? Panic, worry, fretting, all of those kind of feelings. And what actions might you take? You might be scurrying all over the place looking for your wallet. And what are your results? You probably just feel so disillusioned and exhausted. All right, so let's think a different thought. Let's think the thought: oh, that's right, I left my wallet in my coat pocket. How are you feeling now? Relieved, grateful. What actions might you take? You might just sit down and say a prayer. Thank you, God, that you reminded me I put it in my coat pocket. And your results are you have a peaceful day. You have a grateful day. So this is how the results formula works. So thoughts are definitely in charge of our results, and our results never lie. I live my life so completely differently than I used to. I used to have a thought of, oh, being mad at my ex-husband about something, blaming him. Instead, now I flip it around and I say, okay, what pattern is driving these thoughts that I'm having? What wound is underneath driving the pattern? And then I sit down and do some compassion key and heal the stuff that's causing these thoughts that I don't want to have. Okay. So I used to be stuck in blame for decades, and it doesn't work. It makes you feel awful and mean. I mean, blaming other people and being mad at them, it just makes you kind of an angry, mean person. So it's no fun to live in that space, and you don't have to live there. Okay. So a lot of people resist this concept that we are responsible for what we're creating in our lives. I know I didn't want to believe that. I wanted to blame everybody else, my parents, whoever was out there, was always their fault. Well, I wasn't responsible for the people who did bad stuff to me as a kid, and you aren't either. But as adults, we are responsible to fix the stuff that are still running on automatic and causing us to have results we don't want. So we are wanting to create new results. And how do we do that? We need new tools. So this is brave thinking tool number one. Notice what you're noticing. And we especially want to notice what we're thinking. We're going to use this tool in a life assessment. So you're going to need some paper and something to write with. You might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know there's something more out there for you. Or maybe you have lots of dreams and you're confused and don't really know if you should create them all at once or choose one and just get going. We all have dreams inside of us somewhere. They're just probably dormant, got thrown off to the side. So we are going to start with our health and our well-being. So you might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health, or maybe you have relatively good health, but there's more vibrancy and aliveness that you could feel. All right, so taking this first area, I'm going to time us so we stay on track. And so we're going to take 1 minute, and I'm going to invite you to write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing about your health. So for me, I would say, this part of my body is in a lot of pain. So just write down 1 or 2 things you're noticing. So ready, go ahead and write. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Next, I'm going to ask you to give yourself a rating on a scale between 1 and 5. 5 meaning you're feeling fantastic. 1 means you're struggling. You've got a lot of issues going on in your health. So just choose a number and write it down. So we're going to move on to the next area, which love and relationships. You might be a person who longs to have a beautiful, deep, fun, passionate relationship with a loving and caring partner. Or maybe you would love to deepen, expand, and just have more fun in the relationship that you're already in. We're going to take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing. How about you choose one relationship? Maybe it's a relationship with your spouse or a parent or a child or a sibling. Doesn't really matter. Just choose the one that your intuitive mind is bringing forth for you and write down 1 or 2 things. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. And now give yourself a rating on a scale 1 to 5 of where you feel you're at in this relationship. All right, moving on to vocation or how we express ourselves in the world. You might be a person who feels stuck in a job you don't like. Maybe you like your work, but there are issues going on with that job. Again, we're going to take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay. And give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 of where you're at. And lastly, time and money freedom. You might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time, and you'd love to feel more in harmony. All right, so just take 1 minute and write down 1 or 2 things you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. And finally, you can write down a number. Okay, good job. It takes courage to look at stuff that we aren't pleased with. Oftentimes we just set it off to the side because it's easier to cope, and that's fine. But today I'm asking you, let's look at the stuff you're not satisfied with it and bring it forth. Because if we don't bring it forth, how are we ever going to know how to improve it? So I'm just so happy that you were doing this with me. Gonna get better. Yes, it is. This brings us to key number 1. And this is designing your dream. Remember, I told you there's 2 ways to create your life. Design. Well, principle number 1 is designing your dream. And I'm going to share some quotes with you. The Dalai Lama said, in order to carry a positive action, we develop a positive vision. In the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. It's imperative to have a vision, something to look forward to. Otherwise, we perish. We shrivel up. We were made to grow, to keep becoming more all the time. And so that's why vision is important. People with goals succeed because they know where they are going. And that was Earl Nightingale who said that. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream by C.S. Lewis. Harriet Tubman said, every great dream begins with the dreamer. And the last quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I emphasize the word believe because we really must believe in our dreams. We don't want to put it out there and just say, oh, I hope it comes true. No, that's falling into victimhood. We're setting victimhood behind us. And we are getting into this strong, brave thinking belief that, yes, my dream will come true. My dream comes true. Yes, it does. Clarity is power, and we're going to get clear on your dream. We don't want a wishy-washy dream. We want a clear, concise dream. And we do that by asking high quality questions. So the quality of our life is determined by the questions that we ask. And this is brave thinking tool number 2. It seems like an odd tool, but it's really, really so important. I experienced this morning. What would I love? What would I love to wear? What jewelry would I love to have on? And I put something on, and it's like, this isn't right. It's okay. It's just telling me I haven't figured it out yet. And when you do it in the small things, you get better at choosing for the big things. Like, is this man right for me? Does this man treat me well? How do I feel when I'm with this man? These are high quality questions. How do I feel when I'm not with this man? Do I feel reassured that he is staying in contact with me, that he reassures me? All of these questions are high quality questions. Okay, let's talk about some low quality questions. We don't want to start our questions with why and when. Why questions pull us into victimhood? Why isn't this happening? I mean, we're whining and we're complaining. Why is it? When you hear yourself going into why, stop yourself and shift it around into what can I do? Oh, that's another brave thinking tool. We'll talk about that later. But start your questions with what? Another way to start your question that doesn't really help you is when. When is this ever going to happen? When is my man going to show up? When is the money coming? Mm-mm. That's all turning into victimhood again. So just start to notice what you're noticing with your words and with your questions and shift it around. It takes effort. It's very simple, but it takes effort, especially in the beginning, because you're changing your thought patterns. You're changing your mindset. Believe me, I know it takes work because I've had to do this myself. I had a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of negative patterns. Not that I'm completely clear of them. I don't think any of us get completely clear of them, but we just keep working at it and just improving ourselves as best we can. Okay. All right. So, great thinking tool number 2. What would I love? Okay. Next, we are going to do an exercise called the time machine. In a moment, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write down what you would love in a certain area of your life. I want you to choose an area that is most bringing you the most struggle right now. So bring that forth. And I want you to suspend any urge to figure out how the results are going to happen right now. We're just going to put the how off to the side. We're just going to create a little mini vision here of what you would love in this area of your life. And just imagine that you have the power to create exactly what you desire. Now, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe out nice and slow through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. Again, in through your nose, out nice and slow through your mouth. This is a very calm, relaxing way to breathe, and it gets us out of all of our fidgetiness and it just shifts our brain over into the creative side of our brain so we can imagine. Now, imagine that it's 3 years from now. It's 2028. Wow, 2028, and all challenges are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you could not fail, what experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Now, open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life you are imagining. And start your vision with the words, I am so happy and grateful now that. So go ahead and write that out. I am so happy and grateful now that. And fill in the blank for that one area of your life. Ready, go, because we have 2 minutes. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Now we are going to finish this mini vision off with this. This or something even better still. So go ahead and write that at the end. I want to explain why we add this. So we visioned up this nice little vision, something that we would love in this area of our life. And we have the awareness of that right now. As we move forward in time, maybe in 2 weeks, you think, oh, look at that thing over there. I think I want that instead of what I wrote in my vision. So we just go back and change our vision. This vision is a changeable document. We're keeping it open for something even greater still. Maybe we get some insight from God. Look, this is something really magnificent for you. And so it's better than what I wrote down. So go ahead and change it. It's a changeable document. We are so on our way to designing your dream. Now, when you enroll in the Dream Builder program, we're going to design your dream for all 4 areas of your life. And so we'll go into more depth even with this one area that you did, because of course, the Dream Builder program is a 12-week program. So we get lots of time to learn more brave thinking tools and design the dream that is just absolutely right for you. Okay, so we've got that one taken care of. So we're going on to principle number 2. And this is deciding for your dream. Best-selling author and life coach Bob Proctor said this: there's a simple mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this mental activity, and it is called decision. Thank you, Bob. This seems kind of like maybe a vague key or a principle, but I want to express how important it is to decide. If you're stuck in indecision, you're waffling back and forth, you are exhausting yourself, and you're never getting anywhere. So we really got to step forward, get bold and brave, and decide for a certain thing, get specific about things, and then move forward on it. So we must make a firm decision for what it is that we want in order to bring it into reality. We need to decide for new results. And so I'm giving you new tools today. So actually deciding is an action step we can take to get us out of our old results. You don't do something different, you're going to get the same old thing. I want to share a story with you about Judy. Judy did not have much education. She worked in a fast food restaurant during the day, and she did alterations as a seamstress at night. She lived in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment with her 2 children. She had a boy and a girl. Her dream was to have a home for her family. Judy came across a program much like the one I am talking about today. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, that she needed support. So she took a huge leap and made a decision to implement these thoughts and tools and action steps to get her into a different result. It was a tough thing to do. Changing is not always easy, But she knew that she didn't want to live in this tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and she just held on to that and decided, look, I need a change. So she told the people that she was working with about her dream to own her own home. But she said that she only had $500 a month for rent. She had this belief that there was no way that she could get a house for that amount of money. But her coaches, she was working with a group of people. They said, okay, we hear you, but what we want you to focus on is, what does your house look like? Get specific. So we talked about getting specific. So she really got specific about it. Had a white picket fence around it. It had an arched doorway to get in. She wanted a fireplace. She wanted a little backyard. She got real specific. And so then the coaches said, well, now go out and look for it. Judy thought that was crazy because she still was running on this belief, can't afford it, can't afford it. But they encouraged her to take the action step to go out and start looking for that house. So Judy did it. So in about 2 weeks, Judy found the house of her dreams. It was kind of had some issues with it, kind of dilapidated, but it had pretty much everything on her list. So her coaches said, all right, now, if you didn't think it was impossible to get that house, what would you do? And Judy, of course, had a lot of resistance to that question, but finally she pondered, okay, what can I do? She decided she would write the homeowner a letter and explain what she would do to improve the house if he would provide the materials, she would provide the labor, and the only requirement that, she really needed was $500 a month for rent, because she knew that that's what she could manage financially. Well, about 3 weeks later, she heard from the homeowner. He called her and he said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I have 2 other offers sitting over here for $900, which is the full month's rent that he was asking for. And he said, all right, I want you to state out, write out what you're going to do each quarter. I'll provide the materials and you can live in that house. So, wow, Judy was ecstatic and she fulfilled everything that she said she would. And she got the house of her dreams. And actually, after 3 years of renting that house, she was able to buy it because she started changing in her job at the fast food restaurant. She actually got promoted, to manager. And then she started managing 3 different fast food restaurants. So her income soared. When you start shifting and changing, it expands into all areas of her life. Just love Judy's story. So, brave thinking tool number 2, we're deciding for new results. Go ahead and read this slide. I love this slide. I can read it like it's typed normally. I want to just explain why we're even doing this slide. So we know the beginning letter, we know the last letter, the middle is jumbled up. It's all confused. It's just, it doesn't make sense, basically. But it doesn't matter because we can still read the word. Most of us can still read the word. I want to relate this to your dream. Excuse me. So we know the beginning of our dream, which is right now, where we're at, and we know the ending because we just visioned up that one part of our life. So we know where we want to get to. And in the middle, it's all kind of jumbled up. We don't really know what step is next. It doesn't matter. We're still going to get to the end. So we know where we are now. We know what we would love and where we want to be. And in the middle, we have the how, but we want to put a strike through the how. We don't want to get hung up on that. As we take an action step, we're in a different place and we get new ideas about what we could do. We see different stuff. We're not in the same spot because we've done something different and we've taken ourselves into a new area. Next is brave thinking principle number 3, which is befriending your fear. Now, when we take steps, if we go into new territory, fear bubbles up. It's just the way it works. We haven't done a lot of this stuff before, so we get a little apprehensive. We want to befriend our fear. We want to notice it's there and just still move forward with the fear kind of hanging out there. So we want to befriend the fear. Make fear your friend. I want to talk about some phrases that might come up in your mind that will get in your way. And they come from, some of our fears that we have. First one might be, yeah, right, that isn't going to happen. How are you ever going to do that? And where are you going to find the time? And where are you going to get the money? Where are all these nasty, mean questions coming from? They are coming from our paradigms, or we could label it patterns. Paradigms are just our patterns and our beliefs all rolled up together. So we have a lot of different paradigms going on with these questions. And I want to talk about some common other patterns that I see over and over again with people. And the first one is people, they have this pattern of delay. They say, oh, this program is just, I really want to do this program, but I'll wait till spring. They put it off till May. And then when May comes, they're like, oh gosh, the summer is so busy. I'll wait till the kids get back in school. They keep delaying, they keep delaying. And do they ever get it done? No, because they're stuck in the pattern of delay. So that's one huge pattern that I see over and over again. The other pattern is a pattern of shaming themselves. Oh, who do you think you are to go ahead and do that program? That's just so irresponsible. You have other things that are more high priority. Shame on you for thinking that. I mean, shame is the lowest vibrating emotion that you can have. We don't want to have that going on. So if that's coming up for you, I can help you release that with the compassion key. We do not want that vibrating out at all, because you're going to attract experiences that cause you to feel more shame. We don't want that. And the last pattern that I want to talk about is the I'm not good enough pattern. I see this over and over again, and I had it too. So we might ask ourselves, well, who do you think you are to have that dream? You don't have the right credentials and you're not good enough. You didn't go to college. None of that matters. But when you're fighting a pattern, the thoughts, remember, the thoughts, those nasty thoughts come from the patterns. And so we're going to heal the wounds that cause the patterns. And you don't have to fight them over and over every day. This is why the brave thinking programs that I have and the compassion key technique work so perfectly together, because I can see when people are fighting a pattern and we go right after it and we get rid of it. So you don't have to fight it over and over every, hour of every day. No, once we dissolve the wounds, the patterns go away too. It's so beautiful. So there's a very determined part of you that wants to move forward and have that life that you love. And then there's another part of you that thinks, uh-oh, what if I fail? So what if you do fail? We've all had failures. We've all had failures. But one thing I recognize about myself when I was working with those little 4-year-olds, I would encourage them, they'd be cutting with scissors for the first time, and some of them would get so frustrated. And I'd say, it's okay. This is, you're just learning this, it just takes time, we're just going to practice it and you're going to get better at it. And then I thought, wow, I can do this for myself. I would watch my granddaughter, as she's been growing up, she's 8 now, but she would say certain things and I would learn things from her. And it would just be like, wow, these are things that I can actually implement. Sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to make mistakes when we get to adulthood. Well, when we're venturing out into new territory, we are going to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right all the time. Why? Because we've never done it before. What we just need to understand, it's feedback. You can call it failure, you can call it feedback, call it whatever you want, but it's telling us, you know what, this isn't working. Let me go in this direction. So when we were little kids, we fell down a lot when we were learning how to walk. We learned to walk by falling down, and a lot of people had failures. We've all had failures, but they got through it. So befriending your fear, parts of you want to go forward, parts of you want to stay where it's comfortable and the same, but in the middle, what do we have? We have fear. We're going to deal with this just like we did the how and put a strike through it and just say, not today. Now, Mary, my coach, had this really brilliant idea. I want to share it with you because it's very effective. So when you see your fear rising up, you don't want to just discount it. You want to just recognize and say, I can feel it. There it is. And what you can do is talk to the fear and say, I see you. What we're going to do is we're going to have an appointment 3 days from now. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 3 days from now is Friday. You say to the fear, I'm going to talk with you on Friday. Put this in your calendar on Friday, maybe, whatever time works good for you, write it in your calendar. Talk with fear. Okay. And that will calm the fear down because it's knowing that it's going to get some attention on Friday. Now, when you get to Friday, you might look at it and go, oh, what's this all about? It's, maybe the fear is completely dissolved. Maybe tomorrow the fear rises up, 4 or 5 times. And you just say, oh, remember, we're going to talk on Friday. So this is how we're going to deal with fear. This is one option that you have. Okay, so let's see where I'm at. I'm kind of going off script here, which is fine. Okay, there are 2 companions that come along with fear. Here they are, doubt and worry. You can do the same thing with them. Make an appointment with them. I used to have a horrible worry pattern. I have lots of new skills and tools now that I use to deal with them. I don't want to get into all them today because I just don't have the time. But one thing you can do is to focus on your dream. When you see yourself worrying, just say, wait a second, I'm just not going to think about that right now. Let me go get my little mini vision out and just start focusing on that. Put your attention on something else. Will it take a little effort? Yes, it will. But focus on your dream and take an action step towards your dream. So ask yourself, what action step can I do that will get me going on my dream? Get me going closer to my dream. So I want you to take about 25 to 30 seconds right now and write down an action step. So ready, go. Next, I invite you to write down your action step in your calendar. Pick a date, pick a time. So go ahead and do that. This is a promise to yourself that I am going to take this action step. Progress is more important than perfection. We're not going to get it perfect anyway. So you're stuck in this perfection pattern. This will help you to surmount it. And of course, we can work on that further because that's a tough pattern. But taking even the smallest step towards your dream will make a difference. The key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. And this is brave thinking tool number 3. Do what you can. So if you want to write this down, I'll say it out slow. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. Where you are, where are you? You're right where you are. Okay, you're in your present moment. So do what you can. There's always something you can do. Call a friend, do some research, say a prayer with what you have. Some of these things don't cost any money. If you're limited right now with resources, think of something that doesn't cost any money. Always something that you can do. Brave thinking tool number 3. Do what you can with what you have from where you are. The choices and the actions you take today are ultimately who you become tomorrow, because the whole process, the whole dream building process changes who you are. And this is the beauty of being a brave thinker. Okay, so these are the 3 keys that we talked about: designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your fear. We'll go into them in more depth in the 12-week Dream Builder program. Yes. Now, you are worthy of your dream and a life that you absolutely love. Yes, you are. Next, I want to talk about the gift that I have for you, and that is that I offer a free visioning session. So we'll get more clear about your mini vision that you just did. There are different specific things that I will help you to get more clarity and to really help you gain more success on how it's worded and, success in bringing it forth. Now, this visioning session will be about 45 to 60 minutes. It'll be over Zoom, so you'll get to see me. I'll get to see you. You'll get a feel for what I'm all about. And if you want to work with me, and remember, let's get this in before my special ends. Okay, so I'll put my email below so you can contact me. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, let's see here. Oh, wait. How am I going to do that? Oh, stop share. Here it is. Okay, there we go. All right. So remember, as you walk back into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you are facing. You have incredible power within you. This is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action and know that I believe you can. So if life is still breathing you, life is not done with you yet, because something magnificent is happening with you. Yes, it is. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you.